right here at work, decided to hop on, chop it up with individuals, see what's the talk of the town. Is going down the curve. You heard me. Here in Southern California, we're having a wet one again, another rainy day. So seems like the storm still keeps coming. So it's not a lovely day as normally here in Southern California. Who's rain over here? We've been getting lots of it. Let's set this up. Now, for those who are curious, I did drop a new video on this channel today, right? This Mount Rushmore of Southern Chicana rappers. Why there isn't any. What's cracking like a dashboard? What's good? What's good? All right, I feel you. I feel you. Had some rain as well. The homie Mr. Pasa is definitely in the casa for the raza. What's good, loco? Que es la vida, carnal. A toda madre un desmadre. Why touch you? What about when people say God never makes mistakes? Well, I mean that's what they say. You know, everything has a reason for it, according to people. I mean, if you really think about it, that's the way to justify the chaos of real life. That's the only way to justify the chaos of real life. Like, why would something so horrendous have happened? Like, let's say to an elderly person or a child, right? Where people are trying to make sense of it. The best way they could, explain the situation is that God has a plan, and this was a part of the plan, and you just gotta trust in that, because He doesn't make mistakes. Pretty strange. You should have seen the live yesterday. Some YouTuber called him out for the lying, and he went crazy, threatening people and talking to. I mean, well, that's normal behavior according to for him, right? He tends to snap when people come and just ask mere basic, questions. Why that is, I have no idea. Shadow needs some. Nah, I'm a Broncos fan, not a Cowboys fan. And I prefer the LA Football Club than Galaxy. The Shadow do TikTok? No, I do not do TikTok. TikTok is just, I don't really have an interest for TikTok. I really don't see the point of TikTok. It's mostly like, I just see like younger people on there, right, who like to watch just short clips, right? I'm not into, like that kind of stuff. The YouTuber is called Explosive TV. He's good. Oh, yeah, that's the one I was talking about. Okay, yeah. That's the one that I had been mentioning a few times on my channel that reminds me of the guy Upstate point of view, the Listo guy. I'm not saying that is him. I'm saying he reminds me of him, like his mannerisms. But yeah, he seems to have a good channel. He has like skeletons on his picture thing, no? Doesn't he? Yeah, but he popped that on my feed thing. So much to do a compilation of your Trump. Oh, I'm totally fucked now that we have to pass the Epstein. He is. He's fucking stressing it right now, that bastard. The original Annoying Orange. I have a question. Would you believe in Jesus if someone proved that Jesus came back alive after dying? If they can prove it, yeah. I mean, if they have actual proof, like real proof, how can anybody argue that? You get what I mean? I mean, there's actual real proof. I mean, then really there would be no other reason for discussion. Like there would be no other reason why to, how can I say, not be a believer. But it depends what people actually consider what proof is, though. Like the reason why we believe in dinosaurs is that we have their bones, we have their footprints, right? And not only that, but shit, there's a few cave, drawings that are kind of questionable. You know what I mean? That are from those times, that we know of because of how old the bacteria is. Once we observe these findings. Like people aren't just guessing of these types of things, right? There's actually proof and evidence to back it up. Not just like just because somebody wrote it in a book, right? There's actual like real evidence to back it up. It says a lot of witnesses' testimonies proving. Okay, I'll put it to you like this. Donald Trump has a following, MAGA, right? The MAGA fan base. Okay. Everything that Trump has says that we know is a lie, like he says that he's ended 9 wars and that, he's, all the lies that he tells, right? MAGA, all the people that support Trump say that this is true, even though we know it's not true. They are actually out there saying that, no, this is facts, that what he's saying is true. And when we're talking about MAGA's pretty big fandom, you know what I mean? MAGA's a pretty big, cult following, right? There's a lot of people that associate themselves with MAGA. So now you have all these people that are saying what Donald Trump is saying is true, but even though we know it's a lie, now does that make it true just because all these people are saying that it's true? We already know how human behavior works. We already know how humans can be tricked into things. We already know that humans tend to be naive, right? Humanity has a lot of flaws to it, right? So we just can't go based off of just people's eyewitness, right? Same reason why when somebody gets, when somebody gets charged for a crime, the DA just doesn't go based off of, eyewitness. They need evidence as well. They need evidence and eyewitness. They just can't do eyewitness. They wouldn't charge the individual if all they have is eyewitness, because people are not reliable. People tend to lie. People have, motives. People just do some crazy shit. Like, we need evidence and the eyewitness testimony backing up the evidence, right? Like the evidence lines up with what these people are saying. Yeah, I actually looked into the LA Knight Riders. Yeah, they have the Laker colors. Shadow does Instagram. I have an Instagram, but I never go on it. It's just there. It's fucking hardly ever on there. Once every, I don't know, 3 months, 6 months, or some shit like that. Does keep trying to call exposed to for saying is or was a SNY gang member or discredit. Why does he have to be an ex-gang member though? I don't get it. Like, why does he have to be an ex-gang member though? Like, why does he think he's an ex-gang member? Like, why does he have to be an ex-gang member? Why can't he just be a normal person out there who just has an opinion based off what he sees and the information he has? It just doesn't make any sense. Desmond Gunner are on the downswing. What other stories can they tell? I think them taking people's trust, like well, mostly their subscribers, right, and trying to play them out of pocket. I think it's why people, don't fuck with them as much. Thoughts on Dub still in denial. Why are people like this? Do you think he has a mental disorder or just following runners' footsteps? No, what I think it is, well, I think that, maybe losing a bunch of subscribers might be a reason for it, but maybe not the majority reason for it, right? It may be, like, okay, since he doesn't work, right, he relies on, social media as his income. Could be a reason why, right? Like, if he admits to it, maybe he's afraid that he might lose the gang of subscribers, right? But I mostly think that it's maybe because of the area where he lives. Maybe he feels like if he actually admits to it, he won't be able to live comfortable where he's at, right? He might have to, maybe, look over his shoulder. He probably won't be able to run errands as confidently right now if like he knows that maybe somebody maybe had seen the video who's maybe street affiliated and maybe want to do something, right? Um, so maybe, that could be a potential reason, right? Like him not wanting to risk his safety in the area where he resides, since he still, you know, lives in Southern California. You know, I think safety concerns is probably the majority of reasons of why he won't admit to it. The Christians that debate with you get frustrated, you not believing, and asking more logical questions. Yeah, I feel like they do. I feel like they're so used to everyone just accepting what they're being told, right? And maybe some take it offensively, right? Like, how dare you question the scripture or something like that, right? Even though you're not doing it in like in a hostile way or a negative way, right? They take it that way for some strange reason. I don't know. That was the why stories are about him just staying in his room. Nah, like I'm assuming he'll probably have tales from that side of time. Like it's still prison nonetheless, right? Stuff is still gonna go down regardless of the matters. You know what I mean? Um, I think it's more of the safety reasons. I don't think it's because he doesn't have any stories, right? If he spent what did that guy say? He spent I think Chills said that he spent more time in the SNY than he did in the GP. If I'm not mistaken, Chills, said that. So he would have to have some tells, right? And not only that, but still, even the process of it, like the process of it, I'm pretty sure there's people out there that are interested in that kind of stuff, right? It's just that he's not, I don't know, for whatever reasons, he's not willing to dive into it. I don't know, strange. Because, like, he's confident and willing to talk about his time as in the GP area, right? He doesn't hesitate to go into that, right? But he hesitates to go into this. I don't know why. It just doesn't make any sense. I have feeling doves and gonna are making up fake stories and still being denied because they are trying to impress women, or maybe they are trying to impress men. I think they just want that recognition of people seeing them as tough guys. These badasses, like they like the praise that they get. Like originally when they were on here, a lot of people would praise them for that kind of stuff. Like I said, it's not something you should praise individuals for, but it's stuff that people do regardless, right? People praise El Chapo, Al Capone. You know what I mean? But it's like, well, you shouldn't be praising people like that, right? But people still do it. I think they used to like that attention. You get what I mean? And I feel like they think that that's the reason why they blew up, because people seen them that way. You get what I mean? And yeah, maybe to impress women. The reason why Gunner does it. that does tend to be his thing. Oh, we know that Gunner does make up stories, right? Because his wives have came out, well, his ex-wife has came out and said that he doesn't have family members that, like the stories that he tells about or talks about or whatever. What they do is for it. Oh yeah, money, money, money. Of course, they gotta pay the bills. Bills don't pay themselves. But it's just like situations like this doesn't just happen like with these two individuals, right? But there's other people that have came and published like books, right, saying that the events that they're talking about is true. And then when people found out that it was a lie, a big ass uproar and scandal about it, right, where the individual ended up getting sued and stuff like that, right? So people just don't like being lied to, right? Because there's all kinds of fictional books. There's all kinds of books about fictional stories, right? And people don't get outraged of those, but that's because they're not being told that these things are real. People just don't like being manipulated. People don't like to be told that what they're saying is true if it's not. I don't know if they are, and if they are, that's their pedo, right? That's not the issue. The issues are the lies, not so much their sexuality. Does hate his mom? He don't. I don't know. I don't know his personal life like that. And even though I may disagree with the individual and I may not be too fond of him, right? I in touch, these guys. I don't know. You know. There's a video about this saying. I mean, I don't have a good relationship with my mother either, right? But I don't know his personal, dealings with that, right? Nor am I the right person in place to speak on those kind of things. What I'm like, there's a lot of stuff in there that's, I think I know why people say that nobody could question is that some of those countries tend to have like very strict laws, right? Well, they really don't have the freedom the United States does, right? A lot of the stuff, on that side, I question even, right? But that's just my opinion, right? Because it just doesn't make sense to me, though, at least. Right? Like, I don't understand how, they can be speaking about the same Lord and Savior, right? But then them how they treat their women is strange, though. It just doesn't make sense. Muslim will get very upset when you question the scripture, not just. But yeah, I figured that much. They believe their whole entire lives and has been, been, in them since as long as they can remember, right? So I can see why it's almost like you're insulting their families and stuff like that, even though you're not, right? But they take it that way. Kent doesn't gonna find different ways to make money instead of lies, like find other sources of income. Well, if their thing has always been finding ways to scam somebody for money, right? That's as much effort that they put effort to the manipulation, but not so much as in the actual, they probably don't like to be working a job where, they don't like to be told what to do, right? They kind of want to be in charge. Most people that have egos don't like to be in positions where they're being told what to do. They want to be their own bosses. You can always tell the people that have egos, like let's say even when giving positions, right? If they make somebody a boss, you can have an individual who's just gonna, do his thing and not act like, and then there's some that they make them bosses and they feel like they're God himself. You know what I mean? So you can tell who are the people that actually have egos. The ones that let the power go straight to their heads. Yes, kids dance for them. It's not for women to dance for them. What? Islam is anti-rainbow, but they are women meant to dance. Yeah, I don't know about none of that, right? But yeah, it's crazy. They don't like working 9 to 5s like people. It's almost like they want to feel like they're the level of celebrities, like they're them, like you don't know who, like, bro, I know you heard of me, like look at my following, look at how many viewerships I have, like they feel like people of status. You get me? And you can tell because that's one of the things that they used to make fun of other people. Man, with their 100 views, man, with their channels. So they think that they're them. Even though, like I said, views and subscriptions could be, manipulated by buying subscribers and buying views. But like I said, some people, hey, you just gotta fake it till you make it. If you run a business or a hustle, you gotta work in 9 to 5 to support your craft. Yeah, but they want the easy way though. They want the easy route. When you have, see, the thing is that why people like that are able to achieve and like nobody really thinks that somebody could be that shameless, like lie so confidently, like make up shit and just like so boldly and be out there just lying and are quick to come up with lies, right? People feel like somebody like that, like, oh, they wouldn't do that, or they're not doing that, right? But that's because they fail to realize that no, there is a lot of shady individuals out there, right? That's why most people end up getting conned by con men, right? Because they wouldn't believe that this person would actually do those kind of things, right? Because who the fuck would? But see, that's because you have morals, so that's why you think it's impossible. But there's people out there that don't have any morals, that don't think like you, right? So they're willing to do scandalous shit. That is how people always fall for it, right? The gullible, at least. The ones that don't fall for it are the ones that are being like, that are skeptical, like, I don't know about this person. Like, nah, why would somebody lie about this shit? Well, you just never know. That's why it's always good to make sure. Muhammad had several young wives. Yeah, see, when you have several young, like I just can't. I just don't see how somebody who has multiple wives is somebody who could be trusted and reliable. Like clearly, this person is not trustworthy. I mean, the evidence is the multiple wives. Because let's say, okay, if it's not that, then why can't I have multiple husbands? It just doesn't make sense, though. You know, because if one of his multiple husbands, why be an issue though? Like, and can nobody actually bring a rational reason for that? Like, oh, it's because it would be going against this or whatever. It just wouldn't make any sense then. Like, why does she have to stay loyal to him, but he's not? He doesn't have to stay loyal to her though. That just doesn't make any sense to me. And the only reason why certain individuals would back up that thing is because they like the thought of having multiple wives. You know. And about being this clean, righteous individual is always about survival in this shitty world. Yeah, but by taking advantage of others, though, I'm just not down with that. I just don't see how in this world you expect people to, follow this, but you yourself don't have to follow that, though. It's just then, then you're bullshitting. Then I never understood why people make fun of 905ers. It's because there's certain people that think themselves higher than everybody else, right? It's like the ones that have money want to just rub it in people's faces, Not all of them, but a majority of them. If I got to do dirty shit for a good, fuck it. I know, and there's a lot of people that think like that, right? But there's certain other people that are just not willing to do that. Like I know what could make my channel blow up and stuff like that. I'm just not willing to do that kind of shit, though. You get what I mean? And some people could see that as foolish, right? But at least I'm comfortable, within myself, right? Like you can have individuals that are successful, right? But the true individuals are miserable compared to the individuals who may not look like they have much, right? But are comfortable in their own skin, you know? It just depends what you prioritize, I guess. Doesn't gonna do anything for money. Yeah, it seems like it. He said, I want my $2,000. Hey, Shadow, do you think people make up fake stories to impress their females sometimes? Yes! I know that fact that's what people do, bro. Man, there would be all kinds of individuals that would always be talking about some shit, and they would be like, "Hey, right, my boy." I'm just like, "You're a sick ass fool." So I know vatos do that kind of shit for view intentions. I never understood it, but it is what it is. Like when you're already starting the relationship off of lies, and then they wonder why the relationships don't last. It's like, well, what do you think? Then their woman starts to find out that this wasn't true, right? So now they just think of you as a liar, and you only got yourself to blame because of shit on shit that like it really is not necessary, bro. Like, why are you doing this? To lie in order to get this woman, bro. Let me tell you that then you're only on that relationship part time, right? Because once she finds out the truth, the relationship's just gonna collapse, right? So then why go along with the whole charades then, right? Because if you're honest from the beginning, you don't have to worry about that, right? So if she likes you for who you are, which is how you make a relationship work. You're gonna be lying to a woman saying you have money when you're broke. Like if you have to constantly lie and paint yourself as a different type of person in order to get that woman, then that woman is not worth keeping. Then if she's only into you because of these reasons. We had the Stimmies before. Yes. Why he won the Latinos vote? I don't think that's why he won the Latinos vote, because the Stimmy wasn't because of Trump. People forget that though. People I feel bad for owners who got. Well, what happened? No, the stimmy was actually an executive order that was passed by the Obama administration that only took an effect when Trump was already in office. That's why that Trump is the one. But that building was actually passed by the Obama administration. That just when they pass a bill, it just takes a cool minute for the bill to take action, right? So that's why people think that it was Donald Trump, though. That's why that's why Biden's administration was so shitty, right? Not everything was because of Biden. Everything that Donald Trump was doing in his first administration, right? It took effect once Biden took office. So that's why it just added on to the bullshit that he was doing, right? That's why when Trump took office and he was saying that, he had to clean up a lot of the stuff he was doing. Some of that true, right? Because some of the Biden did pass was kind of like some crappy ass shit, right? Took effect once World War, right? So he's actually telling the truth about that. That's kind of how it works. That's why people thought so highly of Trump's first. That's why people didn't think Trump's first time being president wasn't as bad. Yeah, because a lot of the things that Obama put in effect was taking effect when Trump was first in office. Hey? Now we get to see what it is when Trump is to be in office, when we had a shitty president, right? And now he's adding more shit to that. That is why it's as bad as it is. Oh, said ice. That was it. Trump's invited to the carne asada. He's invited to the kickback volo and he's invited to the backyard bunny. Damn. I'll just take credit for it. I know. Trump is just like that. Is Trump invited to the bar? Fuck no. She was doing video. Trump might send. Is Trump a true critic? Fuck no. Trump is not religious at all, bro. Trump doesn't believe in nothing but himself. He just says that he has, religious values and all that because he knows that that's what his side wants to hear. He's good at just repeating whatever his side wants to hear, like, stating what his side wants to hear. He doesn't really believe, right? But he wants to hit a low car show in an orange lowrider. I know presidents are gonna come with their fucking shits to them. It's just that Donald Trump is probably one of the worst, though. Top 3. All right, ladies and gentlemen, lunch break is over. Got to get back to the chopper, get them, and we out.